Hi, this is Carl, and I'm here this morning to give those people who are learning Spanish, and especially those people who are learning the language at GCSE level, a technique which you can use to easily master the endings of the preterite tense in the language. And arguably the preterite tense is one of the most difficult, although at the same time one of the most useful tenses to learn. But in addition to that, although it might be difficult, as those of you who are studying GCSE Spanish will know, when it comes to doing the written exam and also the 90-second presentation for the oral aspect of the examination, what you have to do is to include at least one example of a future tense, a present tense and past tense in order to be able to gain a certain number of marks as far as linguistic content is concerned. So instead of learning the set endings in tabular form for the preterite tense, as is often one of the methods used by teachers in secondary schools to teach that particular tense, what I'm going to do is to give you another alternative, another technique which you can use to learn those specific endings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage you to associate the preterite endings in Spanish with the present tense endings of verbs in Spanish. Now, this technique will only apply to regular verbs in the preterite tense in the language and not to irregular verbs. Okay, so here we go. We'll start with an AR verb. So you can think of any regular AR verb of your choice. I'll choose hablar, to speak. So the first question to ask yourself is this: how do you say in Spanish, in the present tense, we speak? Answer: hablamos. Now in the preterite tense, as long as you're speaking about we speak and we spoke is the same translation. So we spoke is also hablamos. So that is we spoke out of the way. Next question: how do you say in Spanish, in the present tense, I speak? Hablo, H-A-B-L-O. And then adopting the same spelling but a different stress, this time on the last syllable, on the last vowel, is the Spanish translation for he spoke, she spoke, it spoke, you spoke, formal, speaking to one person. Hablo. So you're jumping from the present tense, first person I speak, hablo, to the third person preterite tense, he, she, it spoke, and also you spoke, formal one person, habló. The next jump is from habló, he, she, it spoke, to I spoke, and all you need to do is to change the ending, but at the same time stress the last syllable. He, she, it spoke, you spoke, formal one person, habló, I spoke, hablé. And this E with the stress above it, with the accentuation above it in writing, also occurs, as you will see, in the future tense, where if you want to say, for example, I will speak, you'll use the full infinitive hablar plus that same stressed vowel ending E with an accent. So from hablamos to hablamos, from hablo in present tense, I speak, to habló, he spoke, she spoke, it spoke, you spoke, formal one person, jumping then from that form to I spoke, hablé. Now it's back to the present tense once more. How do you say you speak informal to one person? The answer: hablas. To get from you speak to you spoke, what you have to do is to use the full word, hablas, and extend it by a further two letters. Hablaste. H-A-B-L-A-S-T-E. Hablaste. Then to get from you spoke to you guys spoke, what I often refer to as the you guys form, which is the informal plural verb form, all you have to do is to have the appropriate ending which you would use to denote you guys. In other words, IS. So the Spanish translation for you guys spoke hablasteis. So you're jumping from hablas, in the present tense, you speak, lengthening that word to hablaste, you spoke, lengthening that word again to hablasteis. And then we're left with just one more conjugation in the preterite tense, that being the they form. They spoke. No easy way to remember this, and no apparent association with any of the verb forms in the present tense. You use the full infinitive hablar and add on. So while there's no apparently easy way to remember that particular verb conjugation, you still have the n ending, which denotes they in Spanish. Hablaron. So just recapping once more, we speak, hablamos. Always identical for AR verbs, unless it's an irregular verb, in which case it might be different, but I'm pretty sure that the we form for AR verbs is identical in the present and the preterite tenses. We spoke, hablamos. Jumping then back to the present tense, I spoke, hablo. Jumping back to the preterite tense, he, she, it spoke, you spoke, formal one person, habló. Jumping from the third person in the preterite tense to the first person preterite tense, I spoke, hablé. I jump then back to the present tense, you speak, hablas. Lengthening the word, you spoke, hablaste. Lengthening that word once again, you guys spoke, hablasteis. And then in isolation, they spoke, hablaron. So that's part one on trying to master the endings of AR verbs in the preterite tense, and what I'll do in part two is to just recapitulate on that and then give you some easy methods which you can use to master ER verbs and IR verbs in that same tense.